Hey everyone! Today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to level up your IELTS vocabulary using one of the most incredible stories from history, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
So picture this. It's 1947. You've got this young shepherd. He's out in the desert, and he's looking for a goat that's wandered off. He sees a cave and, just kind of tosses a rock inside. But instead of a boring thud, he hears this crash, the sound of pottery breaking. What on earth could be in there?
Well, get this. He hadn't just found his goat. He had literally stumbled across ancient clay jars filled with scrolls that would totally change how we see history. This was one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever. Now, those two phrases I just used, they are pure gold for the IELTS exam. And believe me, this story is absolutely packed with them.
Okay, let's kick things off with our first group of phrases. These all revolve around the theme of discovery, and they're just perfect for when you need to tell a story or describe a series of events, maybe in your speaking test.
So let's trace the story. The shepherd stumbled across the scrolls, right? Then he sells them to an antiquities dealer. That's just a fancy way of saying someone who buys and sells old, valuable things. And, of course, word of the find spread like wildfire, which led to even more archaeological discoveries. You see how they just link together? It builds a perfect little narrative. And here's why this is so useful for you. Instead of saying something simple like, I found by chance, you can use this much more natural, much more vivid phrase, I stumbled across. It's absolutely perfect for telling a personal story in speaking part 2. It just sounds better.
The point is, this group of words isn't just a list. Think of it as your storytelling toolkit. You can pull these out to describe finding something cool, talk about how news gets around, or explain the importance of a big discovery.
So the scrolls are found, but that's just the beginning, right? The real work started when people had to figure out what they actually meant. And this brings us to the language of academic discussion, something that is absolutely essential for writing task 2.
So naturally, the meaning of these scrolls became a huge subject of scholarly debate. The prevailing theory, which is just the most accepted idea right now, is that they belong to a specific religious group. The scrolls had texts in ancient languages that had long since fallen out of use, and all of this together is what provides insight into this community that was lost to time.
Now check this out. This is where it gets really powerful. In one sentence, you can use two of these high-level phrases. You show you can introduce a common idea, the prevailing theory, and then explain how new information, which provides insight into the topic, actually challenges it. That right there is the kind of critical thinking that gets you a high-scoring essay.
You know, when you drop phrases like subject of scholarly debate or prevailing theory, you're sending a clear signal to the examiner. You're showing them you're not just listing facts, you are engaging with complex ideas on an academic level. And that is the key to unlocking those higher band scores.
All right, for our last group, let's talk about something truly amazing. How on earth did these super fragile 2,000-year-old scrolls even survive in the first place? This brings us to the language of preservation.
I mean, it is mind-blowing that these scrolls are still in existence. They were tucked away in clay jars, which helped them withstand the passage of time. It's likely they were hidden in those caves for safekeeping. And then, of course, after being found, they had to be painstakingly restored and deciphered by teams of experts. Oh, I love this phrase, withstand the passage of time. It's so powerful, almost a bit poetic, isn't it? It sounds so much more impressive than just saying it survived for a long time. You can use this for anything historical, buildings, artifacts, even cultural traditions.
So, here's the takeaway. Anytime your IELTS topic is about history, museums, culture, or even protecting the environment, this vocabulary set is gonna be your best friend. It just adds that layer of sophistication and precision that examiners are looking for.
Okay, let's bring it all together. Think of this next slide as our personal cheat sheet. This is your complete vocabulary toolkit, all inspired by the story of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
And here they are, all in one spot. I would seriously recommend hitting pause here and just taking a moment to look these over. And remember, learning them in these groups, discovery, debate, and preservation, makes them so much easier to remember and actually use when you're under pressure in the exam.
So let me leave you with a final thought. Knowing this stuff is great, but using it is what makes the difference. So which of these amazing phrases are you going to try to use in your speaking or writing practice this week? Go on, pick one or two, and really make them your own.